Tuesday, September 30th is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It's also known as Orange Shirt Day. It's a time of reflection on historic residential school abuses. If you're looking to buy an orange shirt, a Manitoba Indigenous artist designed the orange t-shirt sold at Walmart Canada. Joining us now is that artist, Brooklyn Rudolph. Good morning, Brooklyn.
Hi, good morning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on this.
Thank you so much for having me today.
This is so cool, and you're wearing your designs, obviously. It's beautiful. Yeah. How did this all start for you and Walmart?
Yes, so absolutely. So last year, there was actually artist call out from Indigenous Proud. They were looking for an Indigenous artist to design an orange shirt for the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I had already created a meaningful painting inspired by both of my grandparents who were residential school survivors. And, you know, I wanted to honor residential school survivors and those impacted. So I submitted. I wasn't too sure if I was going to get chosen, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to apply anyways. You know, my husband really encouraged me to apply, so I applied, and you know, later on, earlier this year, I actually found out that I was selected across the country. So I'm very, very proud.
It's incredible. I love the stars and the two little children holding hands.
Yeah.
What inspired this image? Tell us what's going on in this image.
So both of my grandparents, they attended Guy Hill Residential School here in Manitoba.
Okay.
And you know, the resilience that they carried, you know, always standing together, their strength, I really wanted to include that in my painting. And you know, all the children that have been impacted by residential schools, always standing together, close and, you know, in unity. I really wanted to include that. But the star in the middle here is called Kiwatin. In Cree, it is called the Going Home Star, guiding the children home. So I really wanted to include that. And if there was one thing my grandpa always told my family and I, was to share love. So I wanted to include the eagle. It represents love in the 7 teachings as well. So
it's beautiful. It's a hopeful message. And so what does it feel like walking into Walmart and seeing your shirt there?
It was crazy. Like, I was not expecting, you know, my art to have this much of an impact. So walking into Walmart, like even with my family, it was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this like happened, you know, like this is such a positive impact. It's a positive message. It's going back to support the healing of Indigenous survivors and families across the country, and I couldn't be more grateful.
That is incredible. And what happens is, it looks like some of these shirts are sold out already.
Yes, I've been hearing, you know, around the city of Winnipeg that they're basically all sold out.
Wow.
So I'm very, very happy about that.
And so talk about where the money is going. Is it a portion of the money, most of the money? Okay.
Yes, so 100% of the profits from each shirt sold are going to support Indigenous charities such as like the Orange Shirt Society and the Indian Residential School Survivors Society. So those go directly to, you know, these Indigenous charities to support the healing of, you know, those impacted by residential schools.
Are your grandparents still living?
They passed away, but I know they would be really proud.
I guess
you know.
so. Okay, so what do you want people to think about on Tuesday? What do you want them to reflect on for Orange Shirt Day?
Yeah, so I would love them to, you know, reflect on what happened in these schools and, you know, work towards bringing truth and reconciliation, listening to survivors and those impacted by residential schools, and, you know, just standing with us while we're still on our healing journeys. It would mean so much to, you know, not only my family, but many others who've been impacted by residential schools across the country.
That's beautiful. Brooklyn, thank you so much, and congratulations. It's a beautiful shirt and a beautiful image.
I appreciate it.